Homework time. So number 1 says, 25 sixth grade students answered the question, how many hours do you generally spend on homework each week? The dot plot shows the number of hours per week that these 25 students reported spending on homework. So this here is our dot plot that organizes the 25 responses that we got from the sixth graders. And down here you can tell that is the hours spent on homework per week. So here is 1 hour per week, 2 hours per week, 3 hours, and look at this, 0 hours per week. So we have our dot plot, we have the story that goes behind it. Now we are using that information to answer this first question. What percentage of the students reported spending 1 hour on homework each week? Oh, percentages. This is all the way from the beginning of the school year in ratios and proportions. So my hint to you all was think about part and whole. Okay, so let's start with this whole. We are talking about the whole in terms of how many total students were asked the question. There are two ways that you can do this. You can go in and count all the dots, or you can also use the information from the story, which right here says 25. 25 sixth graders. So I know that my whole equals 25. And now I am looking for my part. My part is how many students spent 1 hour on homework. So our part is right here. How many students spent 1 hour per week on homework? And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my part equals 5. But I have to go back to what the question is asking me to do or find. It's asking for what percentage of the students reported spending 1 hour on homework. What percentage? So I know that 5 students out of 25 spent 1 hour on homework. So I can use that knowledge. Now that I have my part and my whole, I know there's an algorithm that we learned way back in Unit 2 where I can go to part divided by our whole and that's going to give me a decimal, which I have to multiply times 100 to get my final answer. So let's go ahead and fill this in. My part is 5 students out of 25 students times 100. So I use a calculator for this part. I do 5 divided by 25, which will give me 0.20. I multiply that times 100, and my total percent is 20%. And this here is my final answer. 20% of the students reported spending 1 hour on homework each week.